good, man. I got to spit.
Good. At the Hollywood Palladium, and
Sorry.
a riot ensued afterward. I mean, there was a riot after a Morrissey show was. For the folks that can't see it, he just spit into the planter. It was.
I can't let you go. And drop, girl, let me see your focus though.
Dude, I don't think that's cool, bro. You're laughing at me because I'm wearing glasses. Like I'm a little Jewish lawyer or some shit. That's not cool, bro. That's not cool, dude. There's a lot of schwitzers around here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. What's up, my man?
What's up, brother?
All right.
That's funny.
I
You don't look like my lawyer.
I don't?
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good. So, first of all, how was traffic getting here?
It was insane.
Insane, right?
Yeah.
So we got to do this. We're in LA. We're in Culver City right now, you guys. We're here. We're here at the studio of the Jam in the Van. Beautiful podcast studio. We're here with the Eagles, not Eagles of death metal. We're here with the actual band, the Eagles. And we have no, I'm just kidding. We're here with the Eagles of death metal album here, guy. And I just took some drugs. So I'm a little bit nervous to interview. I might not look at you at all, if that's okay.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding. He's like, what the fuck did I get myself into? So before we get going, so are you jet lagged? You just came back from Europe.
Yeah, I mean, because we did almost 40 shows in 46 days.
Fuck, bro.
And I had the Paris trial on top of that, like in the middle of it.
Oh, fuck.
That I went to, and plus I was doing like, DJ gigs. I like to sleep when I die is what my motto is.
That's like some Lemmy shit.
I just want to keep moving.
Wow.
I don't want to let the hellhounds catch up to me.
Wow. And so how old are you?
I'm going to be 50 this year.
Wow.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, 50. That's crazy. So 50.
I can't believe I made it.
Yeah. So you hit it pretty hard.
Yeah. I mean, I live. I mean, I'm a rock and roller, right? And the way I look at it, my job description is not necessarily that this is a Bible study.
Huh.
I mean, it's rock and roll. What goes with the territory. What I'm required to do to fulfill my obligations is intense sometimes. So I just enjoy life. Stay horny is kind of my motto. That's the way to live life long. Stay horny.
I come from music. I come from MTV. I was so my first love has been music before comedy.
Right.
My brother Scott owned the Roxy Theater in Pacific Beach. So my first band that I ever saw was Iggy Pop in 1979, and then Pat Benatar and George.
That's your
Thorogood.
first show.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, my first show, 1979. So a lot of people know me from the Comedy Store, and they know I grew up around comedians and Sam Kinison and all that shit, and that was awesome. But music is the thing that really inspired me, which is why I wanted to work with these guys here at Jam in the Van, because music is something that when I was 16 years old, I toured all over Europe, followed Madonna. So this is exciting for me to interview musicians, because people might not know that music is actually my first love as opposed to stand up.
It makes sense, man. There's a comedic element to rock and roll to a certain degree. I mean, if you watch interviews with John Lennon, he's hilarious. He says funny, like we took a left at Greenland. I mean, his hilarious jokes. And rock and roll is, in my opinion, show business music, rock and roll specifically, is an attitude. Like Public Enemy is just as much punk rock as Black Flag. In a lot, when you look at it from
absolutely. So you grew up in the Carolinas.
I was born in the Carolinas. My parents.
But why don't you talk like this, but shit like that, and don't do
when
that?
When I get real angry, no. I moved to LA. I moved to Palm Springs in 1979. That's when I met Joshua Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, and he and I.
79. That was, so you were like in early middle school.
No, I was like 8 years old, and then I went back every summer. But there was a motivation to not have a hillbilly accent in Southern California.
Okay. So I have a lawsuit against him right now, right?
Against who?
Josh.
Do you?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm suing him right now. Yeah, because we're next door neighbors, and his stuff went on my property, and right off of solar up in the Hollywood Hills.
And he put his shit on your property?
Yes, he put my shit on his fucking property.
You gotta take him down then, dude.
Yeah, dude, Josh, what the fuck? I got your homie here, and you're trying to fucking avoid. No, I'm just kidding. No, but you know what's funny about that, dude? Is he I'm not suing him. I'm just kidding. I'm just.
I know.
No, what was funny about him is he was my neighbor for a long time.
Right.
He lived up off of Astral.
Yeah, I used to go up there a lot.
Yeah, so that's my house right next to his. The one with the pool and all that shit.
The rat house.
The what?
The cool house.
Yeah, I don't. He's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So what happened? Because I know it was listed, like his father was there, right? Or his
I think he was having marital difficulties. That's always.
So he bought a multi-million-dollar house up in the Hollywood Hills with his marital difficulties.
I think he's in Malibu now.
Right. So that's where I can find him.
He's in the boo.
Right. Because I think he I think he actually, once he found out Pauly Shore was his neighbor, he's like, fuck, that should have been disclosed in the fucking deal.
Actually, that's not true.
Did you know I was his neighbor?
Yeah, and
that's hilarious.
It's a God's honest true story. The first time I visited his house, I'm like, this is an awesome house. And he said, yeah, and Pauly Shore is my neighbor.
Isn't that funny?
And I was like, awesome, that's the bonus.
So he bought this house, killer house. Fucking killer house, killer view, he spent all this money, dimed it up. He was there with his father, right?
Yeah, he did it, but his dad's one of the best contractors.
Correct. Yeah. So this is Queen of the Stone Age, right? And he was building this house, and he had his girl, and then what happened? Because I rent out my house, so I physically live in Las Vegas.
Oh,
so
wow.
I just found out, I don't know, a year or 2-3 years ago, is he's like not there anymore. So
Yeah.
what was that whole thing?
I think it was just bad memories.
Wow.
You know,
living next to Pauly Shore.
No.
No, with his babe. Yeah.
I think that's how it went down. And well, you live in Las Vegas.
Yes.
How do you like it?
It's a good question because I like it and I don't like it.
Yeah, because I'm very interested. You know, a lot of my friends are considering going out there. Some of my friends have gone out there.
Yeah, Romney's out there from Foo Fighters.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
out there.
out
the
there.
Tax rate's better.
Sebastian Bach is there.
That's right. Well, I just went to his birthday party. He just moved out there.
Yeah, so he's out there. Who else is out there? There's a lot of musicians out there. Vegas is interesting. You got to be careful because it's super dry.
Right.
So there's no moisture in the air. Like you're from the Carolinas, so
It's
you
all
feel moist. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get crusty as fuck.
Yeah.
So like just going from your car to your house is like fuck you know. But there's something really good about it. I think you would like Vegas. It's very dirty. And when I say dirty, not just the city itself,
right,
but just the vibe.
Yeah, no.
You know, and you would like it. It's pretty cool, you know. So
I grew up in Palm Springs.
Because you seem kind of a dirty guy.
I'm a desert dude. I grew up in Palm Springs.
You would fucking love it. Yeah, and it's interesting because a lot of people are like, oh, the Las Vegas Strip, and like, no, there's actually like cool little local spots and great little hangs there that
Yeah, and it's got the Evil Knievel pizza, which I love.
So Europe, 40 fucking shows, 44 shows.
Yeah, and a lot of shows.
And
DJing and doing. I will go and show up and just sing karaoke anywhere. I have like my own set. I love doing that shit. And
let's do a karaoke together.
I would love to.
What about if we do?
I think we're gonna do a Rocky Horror Picture Show song. Okay. After. You should do one of those with us.
Okay. Do you have the lyrics?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have the lyrics.
Do it in the band?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you can join them.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So you're gonna be 50, and then you have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Wife.
I have we are intending to get married, but she is she's in the hospital right now.
Yeah. She went through some stuff.
She had an asthma attack, and I was at a record store around the street from my house. When I came home, she was out. I didn't know how long she'd been out. It couldn't have been more than 25 minutes, but I took her to the hospital. I had a friend, and I expressed to them, I don't know how long she's been out, but I'm positive it's only been a minute or two. And she was breathing, and they decided that they judged her as a drug overdose for some reason. And put her into a machine called the Lucas machine, which stopped her heart and broke her in a way. So,
so she went through some stuff.
She's going through hell. She's still unable to speak.
Wow.
But she's making a rapid recovery.
Wow.
It's just, I've been through a terror attack. I've had terrorists try to kill me. I've been through a lot of stuff, but nothing can touch this in terms of songwriting material. She's the love of my life, and she's been fighting for her life. She's the toughest girl I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, no, that's what I was told that you.
And they did, and really the hospital fucked her up.
Yeah.
And tried to hide it. And when they did that, they decided they wanted her organs. So I was in a legal battle trying to prevent them from taking her off life support, which they had, I thought she was in a coma. It was drug induced the whole time. And the hospital never expected her to live, which was unfortunate for them, but she did. And I got a court order and was able to remove her and discover all this. It's just an eye-opener into the dark world of the medical system.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, not to switch subjects, but that's a pretty heavy shit that you're going through. But I just had I had a penis surgery.
Did
I
you
mean,
really?
I'm not trying to be.
But
I'm not trying to be funny. Yes,
Did you really? Okay.
yes, I did. So
what happened? Like, what's going on?
Well, I'm going to tell you because you're almost 50. So, I'm trying to segue a little, so because it's a heavy story with your girl. I don't want to you know what I mean?
I love you for that.
No, bro.
Thank you, brother.
I we've all been through a lot of shit. You know what I mean? And obviously, I heard what happened in Europe, and I don't want to really get into that shit. We can move forward and shit. Yeah, because when you hold on to that shit, it's fucking eats you up, and it's the anger, the bitterness, the pissed offness. I know it's fucked up.
It's a trippy line to cross. Sometimes you got to hang on to shit to get through it.
Yes.
And then you also got.
Well, that's what Johnny Depp did. I mean, that's what he did. He carried that shit for 6 years.
Yeah.
With that whole thing.
And then she went into court and did a line of coke out of her napkin. Did anyone see that but me?
No, really?
Dude.
Really?
She doesn't. Okay, it's classic. You can tell the camera's always on her, but she doesn't realize that because she's not being called to witness yet. So she doesn't realize that there's a camera on her all the time. And she does the oldest one in the book where you valley out a napkin and hold it and you pour the drugs in there, and she goes like this.
Wow.
It's so clear. It's like
shit. I got to do that when I get to Vegas next week. That's a good.
We used to crimp straws with my mom's hair crimper.
Yeah.
Fill a whole straw and then crimp it, and then cut it, and then you just bite off it and stick it in your nose and pout.
Yeah. So back to my penis surgery.
Yeah.
So I was urinating a lot, but it goes in line with what you're talking about with your babe. Is like you just said it. You don't know what the fuck is going on with these hospitals.
Yeah.
Because and I'm going in for a penis surgery. Imagine that fucking surgery going bad.
Yeah, no shit. It can't go bad.
Imagine you lose your dick.
Yeah.
Somewhere, and they're like, oh, like you're the one in the thousands that it fucked up.
Right.
And now, you can't fuck for a while, for like a couple years or maybe even ever.
Yeah.
So obviously, because they put you out, but the surgery is very simple.
Did it work?
It worked.
Awesome.
Yeah. So now my dick goes to the left instead of to the right, so everything worked out perfect.
Is that hockey stick?
It's a Hakkasan. It's an Asian Hakkasan.
But isn't there a vitamin deficiency too that'll give you hockey stick dick?
No, I'm being serious. Listen.
Well, I'm being serious.
No. I think so. But the surgery that I had was called Resume, which basically makes you resume to the way you used to pee.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so you know how like at night, how many times a night do you get up to take a piss?
It depends, maybe 1 or 2.
Okay, so you don't need it. So I was getting up probably about maybe 3 to 5 times in the middle of the night to take a piss, because what happens is I'd piss, but not all the piss would leave my bladder. So then I would lie back down, and then a half hour later, I'm like, shit, I still have to piss.
Right.
So then I got frustrated. So then if you're like at dinner with your friends, you got to piss. You're always having to pee.
Right.
So they gave me this, at first they gave me this Flomax shit, which didn't work, which is a pill that's endorsed by Joe Theismann, the quarterback, And I'm like, why the fuck would I do that? But I did that. That didn't work. So basically the Resume thing is it's a 15-minute procedure, and they stick a catheter in your dick when you wake up, and so you have a pee bag.
Wow.
So I basically had a pee bag for about a week, which was awesome.
I was just going to say that.
It was awesome.
I'm already seeing the
it's so great. So anyway, so a week later, I don't want to sit on this for a long time, but they pulled it out, and they said it takes about a month to find out if it worked. And thank God it works, because if not, I would probably have to get up and pee right now. But back to your European tour.
Right.
So what countries did you play and how was it?
It was rock and roll is always great, but we played at, I think, every major country in Europe, and we were playing a lot of the first shows that the country had since the lockdown.
Copy.
Which that was a very fascinating just thing to observe, just the different effect of this on show business in general around the world. I mean, I don't know who had the bright idea that it would be good to embrace the notion of being afraid to be around other people for show business people, but whatever. But we did take this rad pleasure cruise on the Baltic. You can take the ferry as a giant pleasure cruise boat, and I just had this vision that we were going to turn into donkeys later on, and Pinocchio would be there with us.
Right.
But it had like an opera theater and clubs and a casino and a grocery store.
That's
and
dope.
You're only in it for 18 hours, and it was awesome.
So you were playing on a ferry?
We were just taking a ferry to a show. But there were enough kids on the boat that were fans that it turned into, we'll play. And they had they had different bars. I mean, it was set up so that you felt like you were in Austin, Texas or some shit like that. It was really wild, man.
Right.
Just for a 16-hour ferry boat cruise.
And then 25 years. You've
Yeah.
been doing this, 25 years. It's fucking crazy, right?
I it. It suddenly you don't realize it, and then it's there.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. I mean, before the whole shit house goes up in flames, I'll be happy to have that on my eulogy.
But the best thing about life, I think, is having something that gets you out of bed.
Right.
We're lucky.
Most people die when they retire,
Yeah. Or they're bummed that so you get out of bed for your music.
You look at Mick Jagger, Rod Stewart, for example. What they seem to do is every 15 years they recycle families. They get a new wife, younger, and then they have a kid.
That's hilarious.
Because having a child inherently programs you to live for something.
Wow.
And right now I think Rod Stewart has kids in 3rd grade and shit like that. You know what I mean? His 3rd or 4th round of kids. And same with Mick Jagger.
Wow.
You can tell it's kind of that whole generation of artists, especially. It's like, oh, right, well, we're up to our 15 years, babe. Sorry.
Wow.
Like, you remember Bo Derek? Bo Derek was Linda Evans was Ursula Andress. John Derek was the dude that he married Ursula Andress. He replaced her with Linda Evans, replaced her with Bo Derek. Just upgraded.
Do girls upgrade or mostly guys?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Girls throughout the crusty dudes?
Everybody does exactly what everyone does, but it's just uniquely different.
Yeah.
Women, especially quintessentially classic women, I guess you would say.
Right.
They also ally themselves with their worst enemies.
Yeah.
For lateral information sharing.
Yeah.
So that your girlfriend can go.
Yeah.
So what were you doing at so-and-so's house? How did you know I was at so-and-so's house?
Right. And then as far as the music, I grew up on the Sunset Strip, born and raised, literally. Did you spend a lot of time in the 90s on the Sunset Strip?
I did.
You did?
I did. And I was seeing bands like Jane's Addiction and Fishbone, and I would come for shows like that. I would see the Beastie Boys a lot.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I loved a lot of punk rock shows. I loved the band called The Church. I saw them quite a bit. But
so what was Sunset like back then for you? I mean, because you're a boy, you're from the Carolinas.
It was still
you're
magic.
You're
was
like
still magic, and there
in
was
the heavy metal era during
everything.
Gazaris.
And the streets were still filled.
Yeah,
and
filled. Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Hookers were everywhere.
Dude, I was telling a friend of mine,
Yeah.
if Dorothy had landed there, it would have been junkies and hookers and queers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was crazy the way the streets were physically dirtier, but there was a tolerance that was different because you would literally have pimps and hoes on the street, and then you'd have cops, and people cruised. Cars didn't go faster than 4 or 5 miles per hour on the strip. That was, and even back then in the 80s, I remember, because I started coming back there into Hollywood in the 80s, there would be those like squatter punker mansions right on Hollywood Boulevard. Remember, there were still a few of those houses left, those like crazy like squatter mansion houses. I don't know what happened, but Hollywood needs to have a little bit of that returned.
Definitely. So, Black Flag, you mentioned them earlier. So did you see them a lot?
Yeah,
What about the band X?
Oh, of course. Of course. I love X.
A lot of the kids, they don't know X. Ladies and gentlemen watching, if you've never heard of the band X, get an album called Los Angeles. It's probably one of the best, would you call it punk rock? not really, kind of poppy punk.
Well,
because there were some
they
hits.
thought they were making a punk album, but they made a classic album.
Yes.
It's more of like...
It's so good.
It's on par with the Dylan album, in my opinion.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that album. And Billy Zoom. Yeah, Billy Zoom, just so you're clear, I knew him when I was a kid. I was a mod. You know what a mod is, right? Yeah. So I was a mod. I had flags and all that shit. And I would speak in a fake London accent, and I'd drive my scooter down Sunset.
And wear winos, like the lace-up winos.
Yeah. No, I had my parka and all shit. And there was it was kind of like the Rockabillys against the mods.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
Like Preppies versus Stoners.
Yeah. So we used to park our scooters in front of the Roxy and watch the Untouchables and stuff like that.
One of my favorite bands
ever.
And
no one knows the Untouchables.
They're in Repo
Clyde
Man.
Grimes
They have that small appearance in the movie Repo Man, which is so quintessential.
Yeah.
I love the Untouchables.
Oh, fuck, dude. I mean, great. So Billy Zoom I met at one of his shows. I was like obsessed. And I would follow him home. He lived on Sierra Bonita and Sunset. And he used to make these kind of windshields for scooters. So if you got a Billy Zoom windshield, you were the fucking man.
Right.
So you got the scooter, right, the Lambretta or the Vespa, and then you had the Billy Zoom thing. And I used to sit in the back of his garage, and I was like this annoying kid that was just obsessed with him. And I'd like help him make his fucking his little things and his thing. And I'm like, all right, I'll be back tomorrow. You know, he's like, all right, kid. You know, I don't think he knew my name. I was just like drooling over him. And but that scene, that Sunset Strip scene was like the best. I mean,
it was a real scene.
Yeah, I drove by it with my mom and her Jaguar from the Comedy Store to our house in Doheny, and we would drive by the it was the Whiskey, and the punk rockers would see us and spit, and that was like
it was a wild time too.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Bad Brains at the
good man, I gotta spit.
Good. At the Hollywood Palladium, and
Sorry.
A riot ensued after it. I mean, there was a riot after a Morrissey show once. For the folks that can't see it, he just spit into the planter. It was perfectly normal, totally normal.
No, we shared it. Me and Wolf shared a American Spirit outside, so that shit fucks you up.
Yeah, it does. Those are intense.
But the thing is, you were smoking outside too.
Yeah, Camel.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Let's get real for a sec.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm very close with Dave Chappelle. Very close with him. The guy doesn't stop smoking. You don't stop smoking. I smoke very rarely, but the biggest concern that I have for you, for me, for Dave, is that I don't want to say we make a living because that sounds fucking stupid, but our art is our voice.
Right.
So what's your thought about that? Do you ever think about that? Because guess what? If your throat is so fucked up from cigarettes, you're seeing, because you know how hard, I mean, I've seen your stuff. You really put your heart into it. So what's your thought about that? Take 3 seconds before you answer, because this is you're picking pretty much, you're picking me and Chappelle and all us guys that smoke cigarettes that sing, you're picking that over your vocals.
Presumably, but I do believe this. With any drug, and nicotine's a drug, and the tars that are released, like insulin, let's say, the amount of people that can actually take insulin is very small. The amount of people that should actually take Xanax is really small. Like, I don't understand how when people take like Ritalin, they don't fall asleep. I fall asleep, but I'm hyper. Yeah. I'm one of those people that it would, the very rare. I think maybe cigarettes could be like that too, because my Uncle Roy, my great Uncle Roy, he was 94 years old when he died.
Smoked the whole time.
Unfiltered Camels.
Oh, fuck.
And he literally died at the age of 94 in his favorite armchair with an unfiltered Camel in between two of his fingers that he was smoking on.
Wow. But you think about it. You're not
I
an
do
idiot.
think about it.
You're not an idiot when you
time.
wake up in the morning, you start coughing, and you're like,
and
fuck,
I'm
dude.
very, very conscious of myself. So I pay attention to my body.
Yeah.
And I know it's you can't really avoid everything if you're even partaking, but I do smoke when it's necessary, but I'll be honest with you, I enjoy it.
Yeah. And then and then as far as your other members of your band, because obviously Dave Grohl just went through some heavy shit. I mean, like fucking heavy. I just saw them play in Vegas. It was, I don't know, it was probably about 2 months before.
And they're such a tight band. They're a family band.
Yeah,
you know,
so like
their
for
band's
you,
band.
yeah, for you got all these other members. You are concerned about that, or do you watch each other's back?
We watch each other. We love each other very dearly. We very
Yeah.
dearly. And it's funny you should say this because one of my band members just politely gave me a book on tour that says, "Quit smoking if you wish," and it was like, just if you want to read it. And it's like, okay. And you know, sometimes there's reasons to do things beyond what you personally think for yourself. When you're in a band situation, and I'm in a leadership position in my band, it's important that my band members aren't overly worried about my health. So sometimes I take that into consideration. But
I'm not talking about your health. I'm talking about their health.
only Jove smokes.
But what about other things?
I think I'm the only real rock and roll animal in
So
the
you
band.
so you do other stuff too sometimes?
Of course, I mean, you know, yeah, this ain't a Bible study.
No.
And I enjoy what I do to the fullest, and I make no apologies for that. This is the job where part of the description is yes. But the way I look at it is a real man works with a hangover and everyone else goes to AA.
Huh. Wow. Okay.
That's what my grandfather used to say.
Yeah.
And
then-
present company excluded if anyone here is in the program.
Right. Yeah, I understand. And then what about like penis hardening pills? Be honest.
I'm going to be honest
Be
with
honest.
you.
Cialis, Viagra.
I've never taken one.
Really? Fuck, I have to take them.
A friend of mine took...
I'm taking one right now.
See, I've never tried that.
Bro.
But have you ever had have you gone over the 4-hour timeline? I've always been fascinated by that. Do you actually if you're at like 4 hours and 15 minutes, are you thinking about going to the hospital
For what?
when you take a boner pill? Because it says for erections lasting longer than 4 hours, seek medical attention.
Oh, I didn't read that part. That was the fine. That was the fine print. No, if I take a Viagra, I'll just take a fourth of it.
Right.
A sliver, and that's just enough blood to get to my dick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You
I
don't
don't
wanna
need a
overdo
whole
it.
pill. No, you don't need a whole pill. It's too much. And then your face starts turning red and shit like that.
Does it really?
Yeah, dude, because it's blood. You know what I mean?
It
It's like
flushes all the blood.
what?
It makes all the blood.
Yeah, it's just your whole. Yeah,
Wow,
it's just
so
like
weird.
that's crazy. So you've never taken that. So what about cocaine?
I used to
you
do a
like
lot
the-
of blow. I used
you-
to do a lot of blow. I loved it, but this
You
is no
you
shit.
don't like it. You just like the way it smells, right?
Yeah, and you can't get addicted to it. I've been doing it for 15 years, and I'm still not addicted. But no, I'm just kidding. I used to do a lot of coke, but the last time I did it, I had an allergic reaction to it,
Wow.
and I ended up in cedar cyanide and anaphylactic shock.
Do you think it was the fentanyl shit?
No, this is a while. This is like 12 years ago.
Did you do too much?
No, we had gotten a hold of this incredible fucking shit, and we had 2 8
Well,
balls. left.
obviously, it was incredible if you had to go to the fucking hospital.
We finished it all off, and then we tried to find this guy. We couldn't find him, so we found a different guy.
Oh,
and the
God.
first line I did of the new shit, right near.
Where'd you find him? Vegas?
No. He
At my
was
house?
on his way
No, I'm
back
just
from
kidding.
Vegas. But after that, I just decided that I wouldn't do coke anymore.
Yeah. So your music is, I mean, I've seen your stuff. It's pretty gnarly. Like, it's fucking blah, 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 blah. So who are you inspired by? As a comic, I was inspired by Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison, Robin Williams. Those are the guys that I
Right.
kind of looked up to. But as a kid, you know, who was it?
Like, who made me want to really be in a band was Firehose. The band with
Firehose?
Mike Watt. They used to be the Minutemen, and then they were on SSD.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Firehouse. That was a heavy metal band.
No. Firehose was a punk rock band who has a member named Mike Watt, who the Red Hot Chili Peppers dedicated Blood Sugar Sex Magic to him.
Oh, wow.
He was like that sort of respected artist. But it was the Sonics, the Rolling Stones. I'm a big Rolling Stones
Yeah,
fanatic.
for sure.
I mean, you can't. And my first show was Kiss. It was Kiss Destroyer, which was life-changing. But I love the Untouchables. I love Fishbone. Fishbone was a
Fishbone.
big band for me.
What about like I'm trying to think. What about Metallica? I mean,
Kill 'Em All.
What?
Kill 'Em All. That album.
Oh, okay, got it.
And I'm a dude who uses music to accent emotions or to reinforce determination, you know? So Metallica is an album I put on when I feel like I might have to go kick somebody's ass, or if I'm like trying to get ramped up to go do something intense.
And what do you listen to like on Spotify? Is it like classic rock? Is it like
I don't
when you-
use
which-
Spotify.
Okay, so what do you use on I don't know. What else is there?
I normally, I'm a music fanatic, so I mean, I have my Apple Music, but I spend a lot of time at record stores.
Oh, so you straight up go get the album?
I straight up go out and listen. I spend a lot of time at record bars and talking to people at record stores. I mean, I used to work at a record store, and that was how I found all my knowledge came from, and all the excitement of the journey of knowledge in music was talking to people and physically going to places, looking at the album covers. It's still weird to think that our parents did cocaine on record covers instead of CD cases, but I just thought I'd interject that.
Yeah, well, that's how it was. I mean, your generation, my generation, you would go to the record store, you'd get the CDs or records, you'd take them to the guy, you'd be like, yo, here's what I want. He's always like a snob.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, what the fuck are you buying that for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why is that cool?
Always,
And then
always.
you go to the parking lot, you open up your CD, you look at, you know what I mean?
The liner notes, you get into it. And
that whole time is gone, yeah.
That's a necessary thing that we need to actively return, is that community to it, because it's where when you're reading the liner notes you find out that it was recorded at Sunset Sound. Like, where's that? And and it was produced by what does it mean when someone produces it? How does that affect it?
And then what's your take on everybody wants more. Right. You always hear that. I want more followers. I want to sell more tickets. I want to sell more albums. What's your philosophy on that, knowing there's a lot of white noise out there these days with, when you and I were growing up, there was, 4 or 5 or 6 places to watch things and
everyone went there.
And now there's so much white noise out there. What's your feeling about, like even this podcast, like how many people,
realistic goals.
We would want like millions of people to watch this, I guess. But do you care or do you not care?
I don't focus on that because it's about developing, investing in. Record labels used to have a band signed to their label and not even expect a single for 2 albums. They were developing the artist, so to speak. I don't want to do this biggest. I want to do this longest. I want to keep doing this. And an audience is important to know who your audience is, and expanding your audience to a certain point can become an over obsession. And especially with social media, we're starting to find out that all the followers is all bullshit. It's half of it's fake. I believe we're probably going to find out that these tech nerds have been running a scam on us, like the size of which the world has never ever seen, because we're paying for the exposure to something, and if that exposure is manifested by fake entities. Like, it's been that way from Jump Street, Twitter. I mean, who didn't know that there were, like, those farms of dudes that would just build your Twitter followers so that you would look like you had 200,000.
Yeah. So your vibe is about the art and about the development of your songs rather than I want to become famous. You know what I mean? That's just kind of.
I'm so proud to be a member.
You're more like me. Obviously, we're the same age, so we come from that generation.
I love what we do. I love Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
I love the icons of the Sunset Strip. I love the people that provided to us the comedy club, the places for us to have these great moments and to have this history. I love it. And when you're fortunate enough to be part of something, you should contribute to it and its longevity and its life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I've always striven to do.
Yeah, and how many? How would you have to say about how many days you're on the road versus how many days you're at home?
It probably is a year on, year off cycle, but it's like
when you say year on, you're saying you're out for the whole year.
No,
like
I mean,
the whole
1 year
time?
I'll go about half the year. 1 year I go about a third of the year.
But when you go out, I mean, is it 6 months at a time?
No, those types of tours, the digital age sort of killed that.
Okay.
So, but we're a fortunate band in that we're kind of like Ringling Brothers. We don't really need to have an album out to because we are the fun show.
No, I know, but I'm talking about your health and your body and your own living in your own bed and
I don't know why,
and
but
going
I was-
grocery shopping and
I
shit
was
like
made
that.
for it.
Just to be out there.
Wherever I am.
And then what about your babe though? I mean, I know she's not well.
She
right?
normally tours with me.
So
And
she was always going out.
yeah,
with you,
but wherever I am, I'm very good about being real with the situation, always, whatever it is. When you're on the road, that's going to be on the road shit. Deal with it.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about your refrigerator.
Oh, at home?
Yeah,
Normally all that shit goes in the trash before I leave.
correct.
And then my
Right.
mother comes and cares for my cats.
Okay, so your mom takes care of your house.
I have a great mom. And then I have a
And
couple
then you
of
live in
close-
Palm Springs?
I live in Atwater Village.
Oh, that's the best. By Yum Yum Donuts?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Well, right at Brunswick and Los Feliz.
Yeah, that's a great area.
I love that. I got the place because that's the street that the Beastie Boys recorded "Check Your Head" on.
Yes. Yeah. No, I lived in Silver Lake for 7 years, so that whole area is it's pretty fucking dope. You know, that's like the last. Are you masturbating? What's going on? No, that's to me, that area past the Scientology Center, kind of going into Los Feliz and Atwater Village, Frogtown, and that whole area to me is like the last kind of authentic part of Hollywood.
Absolutely.
You know, everything when it starts getting more west, it's
and it seems like there's this drive to destroy all the physical icons of Hollywood and turn it into high-rise buildings. I mean, I really do feel like there's a lack of general respect for the icon. When you start removing physical structures, then you remove the actual connection that entire people have to their physical surroundings. That's why things are landmarks. That's why we use that word, and things become historically protected.
Like the Scientology is a landmark.
It is.
You know, I'm a Scientologist, right? And that was one of the things I was gonna try to push on you, but we could talk about that off camera because it's probably uncomfortable. But I'm thinking that maybe it might be good. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm just kidding. Don't choke me, bro. Don't choke the wheeze. No, no, but that area is fucking beautiful. Atwater Village. I have a friend of mine named Kenny, this chubby gay guy, and his husband Mike live out there. You've probably seen him. He's really chubby. He's got a fat neck. His neck is named Ben because it's got like 2 fucking eyes in his mouth and shit. And we go to Millie's, which is a great breakfast place on Sunset Boulevard, and have if you ever want to go to a great breakfast spot in Silver Lake, you guys go to Millie's and sit at the bar right at or not the bar, the counter, and they fucking make great. You know, have you been?
Yeah, I have. Why don't we should do a show together, our band and your band?
I'm down.
I'm down like 4 Flat Tires. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
I'm putting it out there officially, publicly, because I think it'd be rad.
That'd be sick. The Krusties?
Yeah, that would be awesome, dude.
That'd be fun. So, all right. Well, I guess we got to wrap it up because you guys are wanted back there. But
dude, I really got to say, thank you for having me here.
Well, this was
so. I just really enjoyed this right now, man.
Yeah, bro.
I needed it, brother.
We're.
I needed it, dude. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, we're another thing that I suggest that you do. I know Joe Rogan talks about it a lot, and this is because I care about health. Yeah. I do, especially for guys like us that tour. That you know what I mean. Right. You should do steams and schwitzes in the Russian bathhouse and the cold plunge and all that stuff. It's really good for you.
I'm just throwing it in Norway.
Yes, but you should do it out here. There's a place called City Spa, and I go there all the time, and it's called a schwitz. See, the Jews call it a schwitz. Yeah. So you go in, it's a cold plunge, it's the hot jacuzzi, it's the 3 or 4 different steam rooms, and it just gets out all the bullshit. You'll start coughing up all your crap, and it just makes you feel it
releases all the toxins.
Yes, but my suggestion to you and anyone watching, and Joe Rogan talks about it a lot. I've been doing it since I was a kid. Okay, because my dad always took me to the spa. I go at least 3-4 times a week, and it saves me, you know. And massages are important, and chiropractors are important. All that shit for you because you're a machine, and your machine needs to be worked on. All that shit is my only suggestion. I don't know you at all, but as we're signing off, you're going to be 50, and you have a lot of fans out there. People don't want to see you crust away. You know what I mean? And look at Mick Jagger. I mean, the guy's always running around and healthy.
Bypass.
Oh, he did.
Back out on the road in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so there you go.
I mean, that's insane. That's insane.
But that has to do with his health because he's always running, he's always working out, and you're making the money. So, you know, and then obviously the food is important. You know, you can eat shitty food, but just once in a while. You know, so.
I don't. That's an investment I make on the road is my diet. It's very critical.
Yeah. But the schwitz is my suggestion. It's literally the best thing in the world. But you got to make sure you go all the way under the cold and the hot and you steam it all out.
Schwitz is a good one. I like stup.
Stup.
Yeah.
That's the stup. That's this. Anyways, this has been Jam in the Van podcast with Pauly Shore, and we're here. And then that's it. I guess that's all we're going to say. And then you want to plug your tour dates? Are they going to put that out there?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing Ripple Fest, and go check out tuesdaysarmy.com. That's my girl's website. we put together.
What's it called? Say it again.
Tuesday's Army. Her name's
TuesdaysArmy.com. And then when people go there,
it just gives you all the information, ways
about what she went through
and how to help her recover.
Yeah,
because it's a lot. It's a lot that she needs, you know. And but she's a lot. I mean, as emotional as I'll get, I'll tell you, the easiest thing I've ever done is go through anything for her. You know what I mean? I love her.
Well, that's because you love her.
I love her.
And what about kids?
I have a son. I have a 22-year-old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's the love of my life. I mean, that kid.
Where's he at?
He's in Long Beach now.
Wow.
He's a great kid. He's my little clone.
And what does he do?
He works for Trader Joe's right now.
Amazing.
And he's helping his girl go through school. He's just a solid dude.
Oh, wow. What's his name? Micah.
Yeah.
And where's the girl? Where's the girl that you had him with?
She's in Palm Desert, married to a police officer. She switched. She decided to change up.
To switch it up.
Yeah.
Well, you know, my main suggestion is keep healthy, get rest.
Stay horny.
You know, stay horny. And rock and roll, motherfuckers. We'll see you next time on Pauly Shore Jam in the Van podcast. Later, dudes.
Later.
That was my first interview, bro.
Dude,
I can't let you go. And drop, girl, let me see your focus, though. Yeah, and I said I need.